Hi guys, Matt from the Big River here. We got more fish to unbox this week. Got a nice freshwater order. Let's see who's in the box. Let's see, nice and warm too, even though it's cold outside. The fish came in nice. These are platies. Got some golden leopard platies, they call those. The bag's a little bit cold. Let's see, next up is some black ruby barbs. Not quite as big as the last batch, but nice looking fish. So black ruby barbs, she restocked. Beautiful, beautiful red in those guys. Double bag of reticulated hillstream loaches because we sold low and then sold out. It took some between the time that I ordered. I had to double up the order. Zebra Daniels, restock on those guys. Zebras got nice and stripes and they're fast and fun to look at. A little bit on the nippy side, so remember that when you're stocking them with long-finned animals. Speaking of long-finned animals, these are assorted female guppies. And here's some more Livebearers. Those are tricolor platies. Tricolor platies along with those leopards. That's the restock for our Livebearer aisle. I think I got one other bag in there actually. Albino marble hoplo cats came in this week. I think we've got some other marbles in there, but we got the albinos to join them. Fantastic. Don't get those very often. Black night rams are as black as I've ever seen, like the last batch. Fantastic, beautiful animal. Really happy to offer those again. And who are you? So little Plico. Did you make the trip? Oh, you're alive in there. Good. We got one last week and it did not make the trip. I thought it was fine, then when we went to unbag it, he wasn't with us. But this is a little baby leopard cactus pleco. I'm sorry, I got to way up high so I can see him and making it hard on Barry, who's trying to film. Leopard cactus pleco, very similar to redfin sternella, L600 rather than L114. Oh, that's a locality. Anyway, these are tank-raised babies, which I'm pretty excited to give a try. Look, in the bottom of the box, it had nice warm height packs on top. The bottom of the box got a little bit cool, so we'll let him warm up slow. Alrighty, next we have more fish, just guessing. Who are you? Rustling half-beaks. These are the platinum half-beaks. Super cool, been hard to get the last couple of years. Brought in a few, sold them all, brought in a few more, so there they are. Tiny now, monster later. This is an ornate biker. I like to have those guys in stock too. Literally can be 2 feet. I've seen them more than 14 inches. One of the more ornery bikers. They're more likely to eat your other fish, but very beautiful, so worth the hassle. Sparkling grammies, totally opposite end of the store. Those are nano fish, so grammy that only gets about that big. Great in a group. I like having those, a dozen or more. Yellow polka dot rasboras, they're Boraris genus, which is the chili rasbora cousin. They have the nice little spots and a little yellow to them, so a little bit different. They're really the only one with yellow. These are the Boris mara, or the Phoenix rasbora, so another one of your micro rasboras. And looks like here we go again. There are the chilies, the Boris Brigitte, Boris. Can I speak Latin today? Never. Let's see, not a Boraris. This is Sundandario, or Sundandanio. Let's see if I can speak any English even. No, I can't. Sundandanio goblinus, the neon blue rasboras. So another micro fish, not quite as small as those micro rasboras, but a real small guy. Big guy, this is a filament whiptail. Not huge, and probably there's different different species on those guys that get the same common name. This one I believe gets to about 6 inches. Black ghost knife, should have a couple of those in our batch this time. Black ghost knives are a bigger animal. They can get up to 14 inches. Here's a cool guy we haven't had in a little while. Really big one too. This is an African butterfly fish. They can get to about 4 inches. This guy looks like he's about 3. It's not uncommon for us to get them at about 1 inch. Very fun top dwelling fish. Speaking of monsters, silver arowana, and he's a little bigger than the last guy. Nice sized silver arowana baby. Remember, that guy's going to get to 4 feet. Back to our micro rasboras. Here's a whole bunch of strawberry rasboras, or Boris navius. What was that? 4 different species of micro rasbora, and the neon blue rasbora, which is not the micro, not the same group, but another nano rasbora. Yellow marbled squeaker cat, Synodontis shoutedenti. Those guys pair well with the shoutedenti puffer, come to find out. Imagine, same name, come from the same river. I bet the same naturalist named them, just guessing. Shouted Denny. African dwarf frog, maybe from the same area too. No, actually there's 3 species, as I remember right, of the African dwarf frogs. And that's Bogarty, at least that's what they have them listed as. And they come from a wider range of different areas in Africa, as I understand. I'll laugh about naturalists naming all the fish they discover after themselves. As you look at fish taxonomy, you'll recognize lots of names come up over and over again. Panda Cory, one of our all-time favorites around here. We love Corys and we love our pandas, so who wouldn't love Panda Corys? Oh, here's something we don't get that often. Very neat, unusual fish. They're a perch type. They get lumped in with the tetras, but they're an Asiatic perch. Those are the humphead glassfish. Very, very fun. Melanochromis auratus. Melanochromis auratus is a type of Mabunus or Malawi cichlid. They're notorious for having quite a different look from baby to adult and male to female. Not much for bettas this week. Looks like I got 1 plakat black samurai. I think that's it for this week's order on bettas. More rams. This is the Bolivian ram, or Microgeophagus ultiminosa. I think if you've watched a video from me, you may have heard me go off about how they're not a ram, because the ram is from Ramirezi, which is the species name on the Microgeophagus Ramirezi, and thus called them a ram. So it's funny how names get a life of their own. Apistogramma, this is the Burley Blue. Got a couple different apistos on this order. I really love our micro cichlids in general, the rams and the apistos. At any given time, we try to keep a few different types, so there are dozens of types available. If you're ever looking for specialty pistos, give me a shout. We'll get you hooked up. Here is a ropefish, actually 2 of them, kind of medium size, not the biggest ones, not the smallest ones we've gotten. We did get in a couple real big ones, so I think we sold at least 1 of them already. Oh, sold them all, so you're stuck with the medium-sized ones. Got in a lot of private party fish the last 2 weeks. Got a huge batch of plecos in. Sold out a bunch of L236s, but we still have some of the babies. Lots of different specialty types of bushy nose pleco. Oh gosh, what else? I mean, we got a huge batch of convicts and a big batch of Jack Dempsey's, and let's see, some giant dojos. We've really had a really active week for local breeders and otherwise. Let's see, Crabrow Bumblebee Cichlid, another Mabuna type or Malawian cichlid. Got a few of them to restock on this order. And this is another apistogramma. These are the Panduros, apparently they're tank raised Panduros. We'll get a variety back and forth. We'll get some wild apistos and a lot of tank raised apistos, especially the cultivars, like the super red apistos are definitely a cultivar. Jade tiger barbs, not a bad size on these. Not quite as big as maybe they said on the sheet. Well, they said 1.5 inches. That's not bad. We like the 2-inch large green tiger barbs when we can get them, but right now we got those jades, which is a kind of a nice variety of tiger barb. This is bluewood vampire shrimp. They can get huge. Right now they're about 2 inches. They can be 6. I mean, when I say it's a shrimp that big, they are. They're filter feeders, so they won't hurt anything. You can have them with tiny fish and shrimp if you want to. It won't cause any trouble. Powder blue dwarf gourami males. Restock on those guys. Love our dwarf gouramis. And, oh, I told you we had some more Livebearers to look at. These are koi tuxedo guppies. Haven't had these in for quite a while. Look like they came in pretty nice form. We'll see if those bodies darken up on them. Either way, nice bright reds on them. Very pretty variety of high-end guppy. Let's see, this is a Malawi trout. Tiny little guys. I was kind of expecting a little bit bigger for the price, but a really cool fish. They get gorgeous, gorgeous color on them as they get bigger. Malawi trout is a cichlid, not a trout, but it's, well, it's one they call a trout. Bigger African cichlid. This Congo tetras, a small variety of those. We also got some larges in there, not small variety, small now. We have larges available as well. And last thing on this order this week is some pipefish. This is the blackline freshwater pipefish. Came in pretty tiny. Can't see if it's all females or if it's just juveniles. The males usually have a little bit wider body. That might be a male in the making, but they came in really, really small. Remember, if you take on pipefish, you want to have live brine available to them because they usually won't eat prepared food, at least not to start with. And that's it for this week's order.